So in my monk days, I just became neurotic, literally. Going outside was a source of stress because every time I would go outside, there would be people. So if there's guys, I would have violent thoughts. That's bad. I'm evil. And if there's a woman and have desires awakening, that's bad. That's evil. So I didn't want that. So I just started to look at the floor. And that made me more anxious and more anxious and more anxious. Because you're trying to deny yourself. Now I understand why I did that. I was confused. I was trying to, like a lot of people, my lifestyle, my unbridled lifestyle, got me to places where I suffered tremendously. It's not because of the energies that I suffered, it's due to my ignorance and that I wasn't driving my car properly. It's like I went into a McLaren and I didn't know how to drive and I crashed the car. That's the car's fault. I'm like, no, you don't know how to drive the car. So as a teenager, you have all this repression. You go to shit schools. It doesn't matter if it's public or private. You're repressed all the time. Your sexual energy doesn't flow. Nobody teaches you, so you have all that intensity. And you watch porn and your mind is confused, then we give you a girlfriend. It's like, of course you're going to be insane. Of course you're going to get attached. Of course you're going to be lustful. Of course you're going to go to such an extreme, and of course you're going to suffer. And no matter what happens to the relationship, you're going to suffer. It's not because of sexuality that you suffered, it's because of everything else, all the context and all the repression that you were subject to, and now the sexual energy doesn't know how to flow, and on top of that, you're an idiot. You're mentally immature, you're intellectually in a haze, you don't see straight, you don't know how to discern, you don't understand. Of course you're going to suffer. So that's what happened to me. Like many other people, I was a quote-unquote victim of my own self. Not really, you're ignorant. Ignorance is the greatest disease. So from there on, you say, okay, well, if I don't want to suffer anymore, then there should be no sex. But like if you knew what sex was in the first place. But you're an idiot, you don't even know. You think that you know. And I suffered because of a woman. So relationships are toxic and relationships are causing me to suffer. And even now you read a New Age book, they'll say, no, it's about you and making peace with yourself. This is nonsense. Internally, you're traumatized now due to the intensity that you live, and something in you wants to protect yourself from such a pain. Because in your brain, it's basic association. I suffered because I was with a girl. I suffered because of my relationship with her. And I suffered because of my sexuality. So monkhood, or a form of monkhood, is an intelligent option. Because it says, well, you don't need women, sex is bad, or you should sublimate your sexual energy to achieve godhood, and all this jazz. So it's a perfect cop-out in a way, until you go there, and if you're sane enough, you'll realize, well, what the fuck? The desire for the woman hasn't gone. The desire for my material things hasn't gone. None of it is gone. And I'm not saying that it wasn't a part of me that was genuinely sincere when I was quote-unquote a monk. No, I was 100% sincere. I was curious about what life was about. I wanted to have full space. I wasn't a monk. I just stopped engaging with the world because I wanted to focus on studying, reading. For the first time, I discovered things that I never liked to read. I was at school. Reading was, I don't give a fuck about Edgar Allan Poe. I don't give a fuck about literature. I don't give a shit about Molière. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. I don't care. This is culture. I don't care about that culture. I'm not French nor English. I want nothing to do with that. I'm not even American. I don't even care. This is worthless. Shakespeare? Why do I have to read Shakespeare? Because this is amazing. I'm like, it sucks. This is the stupidest thing. I don't even know how to talk properly. I have to bear this and pretend this is interesting? Get the fuck out of here. Give me a movie or something. Like nonsense, right? So I have no interest in besides that I was obliged to read, right? Because I went to school and I was still in school, so you have your big fucking physics books and whatnot. But for the first time I discovered a subject I was interested in, which was quote-unquote spirituality. It's not spirituality, it's the study of consciousness, and consciousness is the very spark of our human experience. So I was interested in that, so I was 100% genuine, but also there was something pushing me, which was, I don't want any more pain. There was a genuineness to it, but it was overzealous due to what a perfect opportunity. I love this, but I fucking hate this also. So that hate pushed me more. So that there's something out of balance, something ungenuine.